is useful, just particularly as an exercise in getting you solving a problem in scripting. So in this, it's how do you actually draw how water might flow down a given set of contour lines. So to start this out, you can take any contours you've already made. You've made some for your assignment, so open those up. I'm just going to open up the ones that I was using yesterday. So these contours are the same ones generated from the tutorial file. So let's go through and try and write a script. Starting literally just, I mean, you could look at the script on the back, but we really don't need to. It looks a little bit complicated, and it looks a little bit too long. But I've also noted on there these steps in terms of how one would go through and logically write it. You don't start at the beginning when you're writing a script, almost ever. Okay? You don't know what's going to be required in order to draw what you want to do. So you start with what you do know. You know that you have contours and that you're going to loop through all of them. So if you go almost to the bottom of the page, there is a step 1, loop through contours. So that's what we type up first. Then you notice a step 2, 3, and then it goes 4 through 8, or 4 through 10 actually. So let's type out what we know. So let's begin by opening up a Python script window. You can type edit Python script. You see the ones that we worked on yesterday. Let's start with a blank window. You can also go up to Tools, Python script, and Edit. Let's also open up, for good measure, the RhinoScript help file, so that we know or can begin to search for what commands could be useful in running this. What is the first line that we always write?
Import.
Okay, good.
RhinoScript.
So we're importing the class RhinoScript syntax as RS. Okay. Now, how do we, if we want to begin to draw some flows down these contour lines, the flow is essentially going to be just going from one contour line, drawing a perpendicular to the next contour line, then drawing a perpendicular to the next one, and so forth. That sounds really easy, but it's actually not that easy. There's quite a few things we need to consider along the way. So what do we do first to get all of the contours? We want to make a list of contours, and we want to loop through all of them. Yes, good.
Get objects.
So we're going to get objects. What do we don't really need to type anything here, but I'm just going to say select contours for good measure. You'll notice also that there is as a second optional parameter, it says filter. And it says down here the types of geometry, points, curves, surfaces, meshes that can be selected. Filter is, or can be particularly useful. So let's check out get objects in the help. Okay. When we look at get objects in the RhinoScript help, we'll notice that they actually tell us what the various filters are, or could be. if you specified a 0, which is the default, any objects can be selected. If you specify 1, only point objects will be selected. 2, point clouds, 4, curves, 8, surfaces, 16, polysurfaces, etc. This is useful if you have a lot of geometry on your screen, okay? And you haven't organized it in any way where you can just go select by layer or something like that, okay? This is useful if you have like roads and also could be NTR entrance points or something on a map, and you only wanted to select the contours, which are the curves. You could specify 4 as the filter type, and then just drag your window across the screen. It would ignore everything that's not a curve. It may seem strange that it says 0, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. There's a reason for this. You can actually say, well, I only want to select curves and meshes. You would take mesh, which is 32, you would add 4 for curve and end up with 36. Okay? That will select all curves and meshes. Okay? There are no combinations, because these numbers are the way that they're multiples of each other. You cannot have every combination is unique. Okay? So that's the reason why these numbers are so complicated. It's because you select your combination by adding together what you want to have, and that creates your filter number.
We just like details in that. There's specifications called details. Just what's details you can just.
You mean down here? I don't know. Grips are kind of obvious. Those are the control points on a curve. Text dots are actually something you've probably never used before, because these are not just text objects. There's also something in Rhino called a text dot, which as you zoom in and out, scales to the viewport of the window, so that it always has the same text size. There's a lot of different things. I don't know what do you know what a detail is? No idea? Okay, never used it before in our life.
Okay.
Okay. So we can select contours. We can specify 4 as the object type for a filter. And that will make it so that we only select curves on the screen. Okay, now what do we do? What's next? We have a list of contours now. What do we do?
String.
What does that mean?